afternoon. This is HorseRacingNation.com editor Jared Horek, and welcome to my 2010 Breeders' Cup Classic preview. In this video, we're going to attempt to figure out if Zenyatta is a vulnerable favorite, and then I'm going to go on after that and talk about a few possible wagering strategies in this year's Classic. But first off, the question of is Zenyatta a vulnerable favorite? The answer is probably not. She is 19 for 19 lifetime. Some people think that she's just a synthetic specialist. But do note that her two conventional dirt races, both at Oaklawn Park, those two races were her largest margins of victory. And also, her lone start at 1.25 miles last year, that was on synthetic ground at Santa Anita in the Breeders' Cup Classic. But when she beat the boys, she earned her best career by her speed figure of 1:12. So the evidence suggests that 10 furlongs is her best distance, and she may be even better on conventional dirt. So if you take those two things together, she could be very tough to beat. We could be looking at a special performance. Now there's three possible ways that we could play this race. The first scenario would be trying to beat Zenyatta. That scenario seems to be unlikely, but if you are trying to beat her, the obvious contenders will be Blame, Quality Road, and Looking at Lucky. The Quality Road of those three is the most brilliant. Throughout his career he's had a few track records, and he's definitely the fastest of probably the entrants in this event. If it was a shorter race, maybe like 9 furlongs, he may have a pretty good shot of winning it coming off the layoff. He's going to set a decent tactical trip, but he's lost both of his starts at 10 furlongs, and the pace is going to be swift. He may have the lead turning for home, but he might have a hard time holding off Zenyatta. Blame, he lost his lone start at 10 furlongs last time out in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, but he was chasing lone speed Haynesfield. This time with more pace, Blame could end up running a better race. And then Looking at Lucky, the 3-year-old in this event. The 3-year-old crop wasn't that strong this year. Looking at Lucky, clearly the best of that crop. He has shipped all over the place. He's gotten sick a couple times this year. The possibility that with this facing older for the first time at 1.25 miles, good quality field here, he could be overbet. But if you are, like I said, if you're trying to beat her, I think Quality Road may end up being the most likely horse that could end up getting the job done. I'm also a big fan of Blame. He's another one you definitely want to consider. The second scenario, or the most likely scenario in this event, is that Zenyatta ends up winning. And probably the way you would want to go if under that scenario is you probably want to beat horses like Blame, Quality Road, and Looking at Lucky, who are going to take all the money. And if you do, a horse like Haynesfield, he's in good form right now. He won the Jockey Club Gold Cup. He's going to be out setting the pace. He's training well. Could last a long time. Or maybe a horse like Dakota Phone could clunk up and get a piece of this, fly down from off the pace. The longer the better for this one. And then Musket Man always runs his race. He just hits the board every time. Another one you might want to consider throwing into the exotics. A third way to play this race, and a strategy that we like here on Horse Racing Nation, is we like to call it the reverse pyramid, where we take a long shot and we put that long shot in the third position and try to hit the trifecta. Usually it's a good price horse underneath, like I said, maybe with some logical horses on top, and then all in the second position. So a possible strategy there, you can put Blame, Quality Road, Looking at Lucky, and Zenyatta on top in your trifectas, use all in the second position, and then maybe put a horse like Haynesfield, who's the speed, in the third position, thinking maybe he'll go out and set the pace and get caught. Maybe the best of the stalkers, a possibility to put in the third position would be Musket Man, and then possibly one of the solid late runners like Fly Down. So you throw one of those type horses in your third position, and maybe you can end up hitting a big trifecta. Since we're less than a week from the Breeders' Cup Classic, we don't know the complete field yet, but I wanted to break it down and give you some ideas on how I thought about Zenyatta and possible ways to play the Breeders' Cup Classic. And that'll wrap it up for this video. And you come over to HorseRacingNation.com for all of your Breeders' Cup news. And this is HorseRacingNation.com editor Jared Horek. Good luck at the races.